In our next example, let's focus on the idea of how life can be limiting and disappointing, or on the upside, how life can give us much more than expected, and that's what the D60 is about. It shows where we get more than we think is possible, or when life feels like someone turned off the tap and we only get a few drops of water. Ketu Dasha for this person started when they were 10 years old, and we can see here that Ketu is placed in the 6th house, a Dushtana house. Ketu is aspected by Saturn and Rahu, the two separators of good karma. Luckily, Ketu's lord Mercury is in its own sign in Gemini. But Mercury also gets separated by Saturn and Rahu. So we can see there is some good karma coming from Ketu's lord Mercury here, who is in its own sign, and a manifester. But overall, life for this person in Ketu Dasha was disappointingly limiting. They felt that their childhood was full of missed opportunities, and they felt disconnected from what should have happened. They grew up with great friends and neighbors, he indicated by Mercury in Gemini. They grew up on the countryside and they did sports with their friends and ran around in the forest, and they had a lot of fun time. But overall, they hated their childhood and wished to be born in another family. In fact, they wished to be born in the family of their friends. Right? Their friends were born with parents who were highly successful. They were university professors, doctors, lawyers, and many times quite rich. They had big homes, and life was really good for them. And for this person, at least their karma allowed them to have those friends as their schoolmates and neighbors. But this is also where this person's good karma ended. Venus Dasha changed everything. Venus is their best planet in the D60. It's in Taurus, and it is conjunct Jupiter. And so more or less for the entire 20-year Venus Dasha, this person was feeling that life gave them more than they wished for. There were challenges. 20 years is a long time, but overall Venus Dasha was a complete turnaround and major improvement over Ketu Dasha. Venus is conjunct the 9th house, and they started traveling abroad just a few years after Venus Dasha started, and they never permanently returned to their home country after that. They traveled and lived in several countries during Venus Dasha, and every country was a new and more wonderful experience. And with Venus in Taurus, they experienced luxury, beautiful homes, they were able to live near beaches, they relished the best food, and life was easy in most ways. And so Venus Dasha really became a very special time for them. Now Venus also rules the 7th house of marriage and the 12th house of foreign influence, and they ended up meeting someone in their travels that they married. Venus is conjunct Jupiter, and that added a sense of fate and higher purpose. When they met each other for the first time, it wasn't just about romance, but about finding someone to learn the biggest lessons together. They married just 1 year after they met and decided to live together abroad. But then Sun Dasha came and the tone shifted. Right? Venus Dasha gave them great optimism and gratitude, but Sun Dasha made the efforts feel unrewarding. Right? The Sun is debilitated in Libra and conjunct the 7th house. The Sun rules the self and one's potential to shine one's light in this world. But here it's debilitated, and there is deep karma holding this person back to live their best life as a man, as a husband, and as a leader. They worked hard during Sun Dasha to be successful in the world, but the Sun in the D60 was unagreeable and gave little results. This wasn't a disastrous or tragic period where they couldn't earn any money, but their financial results were far less than they wished for. And we can also see here that the Sun does get help from Venus and Jupiter, and they enjoyed their time, living near the beach and living in beautiful sunny country, but they struggled with their business. And also here we can see with their marriage as well, right? There were fears and unfulfilled desires that eroded their sense of harmony. And so the Sun debilitated here in the D60 really gave them a deep sense of lack in what they wished life could offer them. And this is the deeper truth of the D60. It's not just the karma we are born with, it's how we relate to it. We all enter life with karmic baggage, but we also arrive with karmic tools. Some people hate their karma, they resist it, resent it, and feel bitter that their story doesn't look like someone else's. Others accept it, even embrace it, and use the tools they have been given, even those tools that are heavy, to shape a meaningful life. And so the D60 doesn't only show what happens, but how you respond to what happens. And sometimes that response makes all the difference. Currently, this person is in Moon Dasha. Moon is in Sagittarius and in mediocre dignity. It gets separated by Saturn and Rahu, which again will bring karmic dissatisfaction. But overall, Moon Dasha will be better than Sun Dasha. A debilitated planet's Dasha in the D60 will never be a good time, no matter the positive influences of other planets. Those other positive influences can give some relief, but there will be something deeply limiting to what the person is trying to achieve. The Moon is in the auspicious 9th house, but the influence of Saturn and Rahu will cause misery to something important they wished for. Now, Mercury's influence from its own sign Gemini will help ease the pain of karmic limitation through business, friendship, and the freedom to travel where they please. After that comes Mars Dasha. Mars is debilitated and conjunct the 10th cusp, and this points to professional frustrations and a low period in their professional life. However, they also got that positive influence of Venus and Jupiter in Taurus that will also give them support and relief. So we can expect that they're going to continue struggling in their professional life, but have sort of everything that they need to live a very comfortable life. Right? So there will be financial stability and an enjoyable lifestyle, just not quite the life they imagined. It won't be the dream life, but it can still be deeply satisfying if they meet life as it is, rather than how they wish it were.